Today I want to talk to you about both of these tractors. The TYM has sold. The man will be taking delivery on it Tuesday. Today is Sunday and he'll be taking delivery Tuesday. And in a way I kind of hate to see it go, because I do like the tractor, don't get me wrong. I know I give TYM a lot of crap. I've really wanted to like this tractor. I really have. And I liked it at first. I bought the tractor used. I know the guy that had the tractor, and he never really had any problems out of it. He did have a speed sensor that went bad, and he had it at the dealership I was at, and I ended up buying it used. So I mean, he was having that sensor fixed, and he had mentioned to the dealer that he wanted to go a size bigger. So they brought it to my attention that they had this tractor back here and the man might want to sell it. And you know, it kind of seemed like a pretty good deal. You know, the price difference was going to be quite a bit, so I went ahead and went with that deal, and it had like 100 hours, I think, on 150, something like that. But after I got the tractor, I had to change the speed sensor. I did that myself, and that was a pretty quick, easy job. The one good thing about this tractor is you can work on it yourself, but if you have warranty, you really want to take it in for the warranty work and have them to do it, you know, to free up your time. But the trouble I have ran into with this tractor is parts and availability, and then finding a dealer that can actually support the tractor and work on it. And when I was buying the tractor, I was assured that this would not be a problem, but it has turned out to be a major problem. I need my tractor to work with. I have to have it. And the tractor has had problems with the front end. I think that started happening around 250, 300 hours. It had to have both of like the drop spindles. I'll show you here in a minute. Both of those had to be replaced. They said it was from oversteer at first, and then they come back and said it was some defect from the factory, and it was a big old ordeal. At first it wasn't going to be covered, and then after I asked for specs so I could get in with the feeler gauge and check and see what's go and no go, because they were telling me it's normal, it was a big deal. I don't even really want to get in the weeds on that one, because it was a headache just to get that covered. But they did end up covering it under warranty. It took like 3 months to get the tractor back, and all this time I was without a tractor, having to rent a tractor, and I was spending $100 a day renting a tractor. So as you can imagine, that adds up really, really quick. They didn't offer a loaner tractor. They didn't have a rental tractor. When I dealt with Deere, they always had a loaner or a rental, or they got the tractor out really quick, and they always took care of me and made me feel welcome. And they immediately didn't start blaming me, saying I was the one who tore the tractor up, which turns out I wasn't. And I've treated this tractor very gently, to be honest. All I've done with it is mow, and I have unloaded the vehicles and stuff around here with because I buy mowers and stuff on the side and part them out, and I unload them off the truck. So that's all it's being picked up, is like MTD lawnmowers and some Toro zero turn, stuff like that. But anyway, the front end started leaking. We got that fixed. It took 3.5 months. And then I was out mowing with it during the summer, and the AC was working fine. I got off the tractor, I come inside, took a lunch, went back out, got back on the tractor, started mowing again, and it was hot. So I thought that maybe the compressor belt come off. I got in there, looked, all that was working. I even jumped the compressor over the clutch on it, because I thought, well, maybe the clutch is bad. No, I jumped it, and it started cooling, but you could tell it just wasn't cooling right. So I was like, well, it's a bad sensor. So I ended up taking it to another dealer over in, it's in Kentucky, but they ended up fixing the AC system, and the tractor was out of warranty on the AC, but they did cover it under warranty, so I do have to give them props for that. But it took 4.5 months, so it is what it is. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you can afford to wait and not have your tractor, this might be what you need. I mean, you might not have any problems. Maybe I got a lemon. I don't know. I just know that it's cost me a lot of money, it's cost me in downtime, more than I could have probably went and bought 2 of these John Deere tractors for what this has set me back. I have had to sell a piece of my property to go buy this other tractor to replace this new tractor. So it is what it is. I mean, I can't afford to be sitting here waiting on parts and waiting on service and then, you know, not have my tractor. Because, I mean, that's why I bought it, was to work with. I had to have this tractor. But I understand having to wait for parts because, I mean, I worked in the parts business for years. I've worked at I worked out there at the parts house. I've worked, let's see, where else I worked. I've worked at all the parts houses around here. And I mean, I understand you've got to wait on stuff. But when I bought the tractor, that was even brought up. I asked them how parts availability was and can y'all service this tractor? And oh yeah, no problem. Well, that dealer is not even selling TYM anymore. So right after all that ordeal with this tractor, they quit selling them. So I was having to drive to Kentucky, and I live in Tennessee, to get the tractor serviced. And that's a big tractor to be pulling across states, and it's just not worth it to me. I mean, it's really not. I was assured this was going to be a quality tractor. I watched all the YouTube influencers telling me that, you know, saying that these are quality tractors and they ain't having any problems out of them, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so far, that's not what I've experienced. But I have to say, I do like the tractor. I like how it runs. I like how it functions. And that thing will start up. I mean, it can be 5 degrees outside, and you hit the key, and that thing fires right up. That little Cuyuk diesel, that seems to be a tough little diesel. Now, don't get me wrong. I like the little engine that's in it. I just wished everything else would hold up. And I understand everything breaks down. That John Deere, right after I got it, a hose clamp popped off, and it was up behind the cab, and it lost a lot of hydraulic fluid. So I just tightened the hose clamp up, and it's good to go now. That's a 2018. This is a 2022. That one right there has never been in for any kind of service. They're not showing any kind of parts that were ordered under warranty. And this one has right at 468 hours, I think, is what it's got on it. This one's right at around the same. It's like 458. And this one's had the TYM has had the AC replaced, the entire front end replaced. It had one of the remotes, or maybe it was both of the remotes, replaced on the rear. Let's see what else. There's some more stuff. Oh yeah, that speed sensor. That might be it as far as what's been replaced on that tractor. But I did order, you know, and other people say you can't get parts through Deere. And I ordered this passenger door kit, or your right door kit. I call it a passenger because when you're in the parts business, you're saying passenger or driver side. So this will be considered passenger side here in the US. I don't know if you're watching in the UK or anywhere like that, but the passenger side would be the right side of the vehicle when you're sitting in the driver's seat. I ordered this passenger door kit, and they had it in 2 days. Now, I haven't ordered a door kit from TYM because it came with that option from the factory, but I guarantee you it wouldn't have been here in no 2 days. I guarantee you that. But as far as the functionality of the tractor, I'll kind of show you right here on the tractor. I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but I tend to do that from time to time. If y'all don't like it, just tell me in the comments. But you can see, I mean, this is a 56 horsepower, or no, it's a 65 horsepower John Deere. And look at the size of the buckets compared. Look at that. This is a 55, the TYM, and that's a 65. But you got to remember that John Deere, that loader, that's the same body, the loader, everything that is used on their 45 horsepower. So that, look at this, look at the beefiness of the loaders. I mean, just look at it. You can, I know you can see from the video. Look at that heavy bucket, how heavy and big that bucket is. Look at the size of this loader. And they're saying this tractor right here can pick up more than this tractor. Look at the size of all that mountain bracket compared to the TYM. And seeing on this right here on the front end, they replaced all of this. As you can see, I don't even think this is painted. It's a different color than this. I believe that's just solid metal without paint or primer. It's what it looks like to me because it's starting to rust. It's the same way on the other side. I mean, if you buy a part from John Deere, you're going to get it in and it's going to be John Deere green. It's already painted. I didn't notice it when I picked the tractor up. I actually noticed it yesterday when I was making a video. And so I guess when you buy one of these TYMs and you get parts for it, they don't come painted and they'll just throw them on here like that. Because, I mean, that's rusting. You can see where they took that knuckle right there, that tie rod off. They beat that up trying to get it out. But the tractor, I mean, if it wasn't for getting service for it and having to drive it all over the country, I would probably keep it because, I mean, it is a cheaper tractor. It is a, let me get a glove back on, it's cold out here. It is a bargain tractor, and you do get a lot of functions, like as far as accessories that you don't get with a John Deere. Like I had to buy this kit, this door kit for the John Deere, which this one comes with this right door kit. But then again, you have to look at the quality. Look at the striker on that. Now I'll show you on the John Deere. I'm trying to make this video today. It's all wet, muddy, and cold, but I ain't gonna have the tractor much longer. So I want you to look at the, yeah, I mean, it's a small thing. That's a quickly replaceable part, but still, that right there just kind of shows you what you're dealing with. This is more of automotive style striker, and this is, I don't know, this is like Chinese ATVs quality. I mean, as you can see, that striker right there on the passenger side, the main door you get in and out of, you can already see it's wearing quite a bit right there, which, like I said, that's easily replaceable. So, I mean, it is what it is. To me, them doors just seem pretty thin. But you can see the footstep right here. It's just this little old bar, and I don't know if you can see that moving. Let's see. You see how much it moves? I want you to look at John Deere steps. That dude does not move. I mean, you can see the quality differences there. But then again, I mean, what I'm saying is this is a cheaper tractor, and you're going to get what you pay for. You know, TYM and all these companies say they are comparable to John Deere. I mean, honestly, I think they're in their own tier by themselves. Because, I mean, you're getting a bargain tractor. If you have a hobby farm or you're doing it a little bit on the side, this might work for you. I'm not doing a lot of farming, but I do a lot of unloading trucks and stuff like that. So I had a bigger John Deere, and I had a little Mahindra E-Max 25, and the E-Max is made by TYM. So I had some problems out of the Mahindra. The frame twisted, and the muffler was cracking. They had an update replacement for that, and it had like 587 hours when I sold it, but the muffler had already cracked again, and I'd already put the new update on it that was supposed to stop that problem. And the first time it did it within like 75 hours. So, I mean, it's a TYM built tractor, and it had some issues, but I was like, well, it's a cheap tractor. It's a little mini subcompact, so I'll give them another chance. I think I'm just expecting too much out of this little tractor. So I bought this one, and at first it was great, but I don't think it's for me. I really don't. As you can see, look at the rear end on this one. I mean, yeah, you do get the 4 remotes. You get a rear washer and the wiper on it. You get your triangle, and you do have a manipulator for your 3-point back here, and that makes it really easy for hooking up, which I do like that, and you don't get that on the John Deere. These are adjustable. They pull out so you can adjust them, and you know, it makes it easier for hooking up your implements. That's nice. I do like that. But the John Deere, you know, you can open up the back window and go in, but you have to get back here in the way of everything and take a risk of smashing your leg or something like that, trying to work that lever to raise or lower your 3-point so you can hook up. But this will only come with the 2 remotes, and it will adjust some. You can pull these out. They are like slightly telescoping, and you can kind of work with them a little bit and get it hooked up. So I mean, but if you pull these out too far, they'll just come out. Whereas to the TYM, they don't come out unless, I guess you would have to probably take that pin and stuff out to get those out. So that, I mean, the TYM, it does have a lot of creature comforts. It comes with the mirrors. The John Deere doesn't come with mirrors. Let's see what else. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it comes with a horn. You get a horn. That's pretty nice. The John Deere doesn't come with a horn. Your warning flashers are separate on the John Deere. You know, they're in your switch down here. And you can turn your overhead lights on separately from your headlights. I do like that. You can't do that on the John Deere. But the controls and everything, they're just cheaper made. You can tell. Like this little old joystick, it just feels cheap. It feels cheap. The shifter feels cheap. I guess it's all cable back there. It feels like a cable. The clutch, I'm pretty sure the clutch is cable also. And I mean, for a cheap tractor, it's not bad. But if I had it to do over again, personally, I wouldn't buy the tractor knowing what I know now. Because that tractor right there is actually here because this one was in the shop for so long, and I was having so many problems getting the parts. I mean, that's the entire reason that's sitting here. I didn't plan on buying a new tractor, another tractor, when I bought this one. This was supposed to last me, and so far, it's been a big disappointment. It does everything it needs to do, but it's just like I said, it comes back to the parts availability and trying to get service and trying to get knowledgeable service. And when you do get it serviced, it comes back with stuff like this, like a crack that was not there when I took it to that last place to get the AC fixed. And I didn't catch it when I picked the tractor up, so I can't say it was them, which I know it wasn't there because I cleaned the tractor up before I took it, and I would have noticed that. And another thing, I don't know if you can see up in there. You see up in the edge of that housing right there, right up in there. See how it's bubbled up? The factory halogen headlights will actually bubble up that housing. I mean, if you was, this tractor hadn't been ran very much with them on, and I went to an LED so it will quit burning the housings. And I also had to do it on the rear. I had to put LEDs in here also, because I come back here and checked my rears to see if they were doing the same thing, and they were burning on the inside also. So I put LEDs in the rear, and I also put them in the overheads to try to make everything last, because I had planned on keeping it. And just like you get it back and then you get parts that aren't painted put on your tractor, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. Because maybe they are painted, I don't know. They sure don't look like they are, because you can see they're a different color than what's on it. So I don't know. It's just small things like that. And then you got your hydraulic block right there. It's all exposed with the hydraulic filters exposed. But we'll walk over here to the John Deere and kind of show you. And look right here where your hydraulics will be. That's a big old armored battery box. Your hoses are pretty close to the tire, but as you can see, they're all tucked in under the tractor. Your hydraulic lines and your hydraulic blocks all tucked in under the tractor. I mean, it's tucked up in there. And your hydraulic filter is actually up in behind those lines and stuff right there. You can kind of see it, that black thing back behind those lines. That's your hydraulic filter. It's tucked up in there where it's not going to get broke off. And on these TYMs, I'm on all their Facebook pages and stuff. And I have seen sticks will come up through here and break that block back there or bust your filter. And I've seen on there also, let me see on this side, stuff will come up and hit this right here, and this is like a hydraulic supply or return. It's one of the two, but it's probably a return since it's got hose clamps on it. But they'll hit this right here and bend it, and that's just like a piece of rubber hose in between two pipes, and it'll get it out of alignment up here, and you know, it cuts back on your flow, or you can bust this all together. So, I mean, you got to keep that stuff in mind. And this tractor, it doesn't have an intercooler for the turbo. This one does. I mean, you can see everything's just, the way everything, the fit and finish is a lot better. You can see where your hydraulic, your tie rods are on this one. They're all tucked away behind the axle. These are right up front where you're gonna catch everything. So that's something to be mindful of. You can see how these have got like these have got actual U-joint in here, and I don't know, that just seems like a more reliable design. I know this one over here, like I said, I've had problems out of it. You can see right there, it's all new seals, and this whole piece right here is new on both sides. And it was leaking out of that wheel seal back there too on the actual, because it's like a stub shaft that goes in with a C-clamp on it. That was leaking. They had to replace that. Actually, when I got the tractor back the first time, it come back and that was dumping fluid over there. So he had to go back actually 2 times the first time to mitigate problems, and they sent it home with it leaking too. That's what got me. I mean, it was leaking bad. It was just dumping fluid. It was leaking worse when I brought it home than whenever I took it. It's just been one of them things with that one. And on this John Deere, I mean, you can just see how heavy the gaskets and stuff are for the doors. The doors are finished out a lot better. You got a big old brace right here to help brace that door up. And the door, I mean, it's pretty solid. It doesn't do a lot of shaking or anything. It just feels better. And another thing, like your grab, where you can grab handle, you can get in the cab, it's actually bolted to the cab. So if you was to damage that, you can replace it on the TYM. It's actually welded to the frame of the cab. You see right there, it's all welded to it. And I have ordered parts for the John Deere. And like I said, they're here within 2 days. I haven't had to deal with anything like I have on this other one, on that TYM. And as you can see in the headlight housings, none of that's burning. I left all the factory bulbs in this one because I'm not having a problem with the headlight housings getting burnt. If you look at how heavy that rear end is, I mean, look at it compared to the TYM. It's obviously a lot heavier, and this is basically the same class tractor. I did change out the overheads. I put some Baja Design LEDs up there, the light pods. And as you can see, this one doesn't have a rear washer, like I said earlier. And I actually put an automotive style headlight bulb in this tractor. I did change out the headlight bulbs. Them are automotive style. You're not supposed to put automotive style in one of these TYMs simply because it will, the bulbs that were in the TYM, they're actual like a low wattage moped bulb. So they're already low watt, low output from the factory. And that's done to try to keep from burning that housing up. But they're not low wattage enough. So if you want to pretty much stop that, you've got to put LEDs in it. I mean, that's just what you got to do. With this tractor, I don't have to worry about it burning the housing. So I just put a hot automotive style bulb in it. I think it was like an H13. So I mean, I didn't have to worry about that because I know it's not going to burn them. There's no sign of damage. It does have a little milky haze over them, but the tractor did sit out in the weather a little bit, so they did get a little hazed. Not too worried about it. Comes with a little toolbox up here on your loader. That one over there, it doesn't really have any storage on it. The TYM doesn't. But if you look at these steps, look at that. Big old heavy steps, and you even have like a brush guard deal on your fuel tank down here. You see that? Look at this TYM. I wonder how much that fuel tank costs. It's just wide open. See that? Wide open. You hit that fuel tank, you're gonna knock a hole in it. And I wonder how much that is to replace. So I know the John Deere costs a lot more, but you're kind of getting what you pay for. I know John Deere's caught a lot of crap here lately, but I mean, they do build a good solid tractor. I like it. You can just tell the quality in it. I mean, it's pretty good quality. And this seat, I wished you could feel the difference in the seats. This isn't even a air ride seat. This is just a regular spring seat, but I mean, it's got all kinds of spring to it. I'll show you here in a second on that and over there when I get in it what it's like. I mean, you see this one's got movement. That one right there is like sitting on a board. Look at this loader joystick control. That's a beefy control, which that TYM, it is already set up to have a third function right at your joystick. This one's not. I believe whenever you get the third function, it comes with an entirely new joystick. And so that one over there is already wired for a third function. So that's nice. I mean, TYM does do little things like that kind of sway you towards going that route. You're like, well, I'm getting this, this, and this. And this one doesn't come with that. But honestly, I had much rather have John Deere backing me than that over there. Because I haven't had any problems getting parts for this yet. This one has a telescoping steering wheel. Telescopes up to your height where you need it. That one doesn't do that. It does have a tilt, but it doesn't have a telescoping function. And this one tilts just like the TYM. Your TYM does come with an interior mirror. This one comes with a mirror also. You know, and then you have all your climate controls. You have your radio. And see this and all these blank spots, you can put switches up there if you need them. And then you have some, I think that's a power auxiliary plug, yeah. And, oh yeah, there's a cigarette lighter in case you need to charge your phone, which that and over there comes with a USB port and all that stuff. And you got all your hydraulic controls right here. Got your back window. Which, I mean, you see that gasket on that back window. That's a big old thick gasket. It's made pretty good. And back here on the back of the seat, you got your manual. Which, that's a comfortable seat. I mean, it's very comfortable. It comes with an armrest and seat belt. And this tractor has 460 hours. But as you can see, I was talking about the light switch. See, you turn this here knob, and then your blinkers will come on. You turn it again, your headlights will come on. You turn it one more time, and your overheads come on. So you can't actually operate them separately like you can on the TYM. You can work your turn signals separately, but not the actual lights. You do have a high and low beam. And then you have for your regen. See, I think that's for the regen. I don't know. I hadn't ever had to do it on this one. And then you can go through and do your diagnostics over here. So if you need to run your diagnostics, you just push this and hold it, and it'll go through and tell you what the codes are on the dash. And so you got the cab light off. But this one, it actually has a cab. Let's see, door this way. Let's see, when you open the door, that comes on. It doesn't do that in that TYM. It says it's supposed to. I was reading in the book, but it doesn't work, and I don't see any kind of switch to where it will work. On this John Deere, you have a switch right here that turns on your cab light. And up under here, you got all your fuses. I ain't gonna open that. It's kind of hard to get open. Then you have your PTO settings back here. This is like a power saving mode. You can pull it up, and it's an economy mode for your PTO running. I think it runs a little slower at a different RPM or something or other. You got your 4-wheel drive right here. But as far as all the little extras, the John Deere doesn't come with all that. But I mean, you're getting a John Deere. I'd rather put money in this, if you know what I mean. This one does have the turning brakes. You can flip this lever and have your turning brakes. That one also has that. And then you got your throttle right here. That one has the throttle over there where you can run your throttle and not have to actually use your hand throttle. But if you buy the hydrostat version of that one, that one's a shuttle shift. You buy the hydrostat, it has auto throttle, so when you hit it, it automatically throttles up, and you know, a tractor will go faster with the throttle, whichever way you're going as far as the forward and reverse. But yeah, TYM does have a lot of options on their tractors, but I wouldn't buy one again if I had it to do over again, knowing what I know now and having to go through what I went through with it. You see, this is that door kit I put on. It came with all this handle and the shock, and it already had the hinges, and it come with a door handle, and this was like bolted solid, and it come with this here rail and those steps with that door kit. And it wasn't that bad price neither. It was like $400 for that door kit, so that's not that bad. But as you can see, you know, your windows and everything open just like they would in the John Deere. And I do like this right here. The TYM doesn't have this. When you turn that on, it lights up everything down here, your work area. The TYM doesn't have that. It's like running light. So, I mean, it is what it is. You just make your own choice and do whatever you want to do. I'm just trying to kind of give you my experience, because I didn't see many videos out there telling, you know, it seemed like an honest review on the tractor and what somebody's honest opinions were. But my opinion, I mean, if you're wanting a cheap tractor, you know, go get one of them. But just know you might have to wait on parts, and just make sure you have a good dealer. Talk to people that has them, that's bought them in your area, and see what their experiences are with them, and if they like the tractor and what kind of problems they've had. Because maybe I got a lemon. I don't know. I do like the tractor. It's just I can't continue to deal with these problems and driving a tractor all over the country trying to get it serviced. I can't do that. I just can't do it. It was literally bankrupting me. And I had to sell some of my property to buy the John Deere, because if I didn't do something quick, I was going to lose everything. And you would bring it up to the dealer like, man, I'm needing this. And they're just like, oh, well, we're working on it. We're working on it. We got parts ordered. We got tools ordered. I bet I called them at least 20 times. And, you know, it was just excuse after excuse. But, you know, the banks, they don't wait. They want their money. And you got to do what you got to do. So just make sure you do your homework before you actually pull the trigger on one of them. You might get one and it might last you, and you might not have any problems, but that wasn't my experience. Anyway, y'all have a good day. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.